She's gone silent. No texts, no calls, just that cold space where connection used to be. And now you're sitting there wondering, what happened? What did I do wrong? Let me stop you right there. There's one truth about women that can change the entire way you see this game. A truth that puts the power back in your hands. If she's ignoring you right now, don't chase, don't beg, because what you do in this silence will define the man you become. Stick around, warrior. I'm revealing 7 Stoic secrets that will flip her silence into your strength. You'll learn how to control your emotions, hold the upper hand, and become the kind of man she can't stop thinking about, all without losing your dignity or your mind. Smash that like button, subscribe if you're ready to level up your mindset, and let's dive deep. Welcome back, gentlemen, to the channel where men are forged, not coddled. If you're new here, this is your command center for Stoic power, inner growth, and unshakable confidence. Picture this, you're vibing with a woman. Everything's flowing, and then out of nowhere, she ghosts you. No explanation, just silence. And suddenly your mind becomes your worst enemy. Did I offend her? Did she lose interest? Is there someone else? The anxiety builds. You want answers. You want closure. But here's the Stoic truth, you don't need them. Because when she pulls away, that's not your cue to panic. That's your moment to evolve. Today we're tapping into Stoic philosophy, drawing wisdom from Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and modern warriors like you to help you master the silence and rise above emotional chaos. Let's begin. Secret 1. Silence reveals, not rejects. Her silence isn't the end of you. It's the unveiling of her. Most men hear nothing and immediately assume the worst. She's lost interest. She's moved on. I've failed. But that's the ego talking, not the truth. The Stoic man doesn't react. He reflects. Silence isn't rejection. It's revelation. It tells you who she is when attention isn't being chased, and who you are when it's withheld. Real power lies in how you interpret the quiet. Maybe she's confused, maybe she's manipulative, or maybe, just maybe, she was never aligned with your values to begin with. That's not a loss, that's clarity. Marcus Aurelius said, if it's endurable, endure it. If not, stop complaining. What you're experiencing isn't punishment, it's feedback. Silence teaches. And the first lesson is this. You were never meant to place your worth in someone else's response. Think of it like this. When a woman stops texting, calling, or engaging, most men spiral into overthinking. They send another message, then another, trying to fix a vibe that's already faded. But the Stoic man, he listens to the silence like a warrior listens to wind before battle, alert, centered, unshaken. He doesn't ask, why is she doing this? He asks, what does this awaken in me? Maybe it's your fear of abandonment. Maybe it's your need for validation. Either way, silence shows you your edges, the parts of you that still need to be forged into steel. Don't let silence break you. Let it build you. Let it sharpen your awareness, expose your insecurities, and refine your detachment. Your self-worth isn't on trial just because someone stops talking. That's her path. Your path is how you carry yourself when the attention fades. A high-value man doesn't panic in silence. He rises through it. Because the right one will never need to play games to feel heard. Secret 2. Stay grounded in your purpose. A man without purpose is like a leaf in the wind, tossed around by every gust of someone else's emotions. One minute she's warm, the next she's distant, and you're left shaken, questioning everything. But that kind of emotional instability doesn't come from her actions. It comes from your lack of a solid foundation. If a woman's silence can unravel your focus, it means your mission wasn't deeply rooted to begin with. This is where most men fail. They invest so much energy into the relationship that they lose the very thing that made them attractive in the first place, their drive, their edge, their mission. You see it all the time, guys skipping workouts, losing ambition, drifting away from their goals the moment they start catching feelings. And when she pulls back, They're wrecked, confused, desperate. That's not power. That's dependency disguised as love. But Stoicism doesn't tolerate that kind of fragility. Epictetus laid it out clearly. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Your identity must come first. Define your path. Build your routine. Forge your discipline. If she walks away, your world doesn't collapse, because your world was never built around her. She was a part of the journey, not the destination. So when she pulls back, don't chase, don't fold. Get in the gym, make money, move with purpose. That kind of focus is magnetic. Let her wonder how you stayed unshaken. Let her silence echo in the space where your obsession with her used to be. The truth. A man locked into his mission is dangerous, not to others, but to weakness, to distraction, to anything that tries to pull him off course. When you're grounded in your purpose, her behavior doesn't dictate your direction. You do. And that's what real masculine strength looks like. Secret 3. Respond, don't react. There's a moment every man faces. She pulls away, stops texting, or gives you that cold silence that gnaws at your self-worth. And inside, the storm brews. You want to reach out. You want to ask, what happened? You want to fix it. But that's not strength, that's reaction. That's fear wearing the mask of care. A Stoic understands that reaction is the enemy of dignity. Reacting is emotional surrender. It's saying, you control how I feel. But response, that's power. Response is when you choose your next move with clarity, not chaos. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. In other words, don't give your peace away just because someone else is unstable. If she disappears, your silence is not absence, it's presence under control. Imagine this. She stops replying. You feel that urge to text, call, ask what's going on. But instead you sit with the discomfort, you breathe, you go to the gym, you journal, you focus on your goals. Days go by and you realize something powerful. You're still standing, still calm, still grounded. That's not just emotional control, that's masculine transcendence. The world tells you to chase, to fight for her, to show how much you care. But the truth is, real men don't chase emotional instability. They observe. They respond with silence that echoes louder than any paragraph. When you stop reacting, you flip the dynamic. You become the one who chooses, not the one hoping to be chosen. Don't let a moment of emotional panic destroy a lifetime of cultivated strength. Hold your frame. Respect yourself enough to respond with power, not panic. Because the man who controls his reaction controls the game. Secret 4. Build in the dark. When she goes silent, it's not rejection, it's revelation. The noise of her attention fades, and what's left is the raw, unfiltered truth. You, your habits, your discipline, your direction. This is where most men break, looking at their phones, checking if she's online, spiraling in doubt, but not you. A Stoic man sees silence not as punishment, but as a portal, a chance to return to the core. Because when the world stops watching, the real building begins. No applause, no reassurance, just the quiet grind that separates the average from the unshakable. Real strength isn't forged under spotlights, it's built in the shadows. Picture this: a man gets ghosted. Instead of drowning in Netflix and overthinking, he hits the gym harder than ever. He finishes that book collecting dust. He masters a skill that elevates his income. Months later, she checks his story and sees a man transformed. Not because he wanted revenge, but because he chose growth over validation. That's the kind of man silence creates, if you're willing to face it head on. Seneca's words hit hard here. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Most men waste their darkest moments by seeking light from others. A Stoic builds his own fire. Let her silence be your call to arms. Forge your body like armor. Sharpen your mind like a sword. Build a life that doesn't chase, it attracts. When you build in the dark, you don't just rise. You become the man she'll regret walking away from, but by then you won't even need her to notice. Secret 5. Remember who you are. When she goes silent, when the messages stop, when the warmth turns cold, that's when most men start questioning themselves. Did I say something wrong? Am I not good enough? That voice of doubt creeps in, and it starts chipping away at your confidence, but that's the trap. And it's one every man must learn to rise above. You are not defined by someone else's attention span. You're not made more or less by a woman's presence. That's external. That's surface level. Real worth, it comes from within. From how you carry yourself, how you rise after setbacks, how you stay true to your path, no matter who walks beside you or walks away. Marcus Aurelius said it clearly. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own. Think about that. You spend your life in your own skin, living your own story, yet you let a moment of silence from someone else shake your foundation. That's not stoic. That's surrendering your power. Real men remember their value, especially in silence, especially in rejection, because that's when your character is tested, not when things are easy, but when your ego gets bruised, when your pride wants to react, and when your mind screams to chase. That's when you pause, breathe, and remind yourself, I am still me, whole, worthy, unshaken. A king doesn't panic when one subject leaves. The court. A warrior doesn't drop his sword because someone turned their back. You are not just a man, you are a mission. Your worth isn't based on who validates it. It's forged in your purpose, your growth, and your ability to stand tall when the world tries to make you small. So the next time silence hits you like a wall, don't beg, don't chase. Remember who you are. And if you've forgotten, then it's time to rebuild that man from the ground up. Not for her, not for anyone else, but for you. Because the world respects the man who never forgets his own value, even when everyone else does. Closing message. So, warrior, the next time she goes silent, don't panic. Don't chase, don't shrink, stand still. Breathe deep. And remember, this is not the end of anything. It's the beginning of your power. Silence doesn't break you. It builds you. If this message hit home, drop a comment saying, I hold the frame. Share this with a brother who needs it. And don't forget to subscribe. We're building a tribe of men who rise above emotions and lead with purpose. Until next time, stay strong, stay sharp, and stay stoic.